Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me for another YouTube review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Husqvarna 12.5 HV 2-stage snowblower. The 12.5 stands for 12.5 horsepower. The 2.7 stands for 27 inches wide. And the HV, I have no idea what it stands for. I've had two of these snowblowers, they were identical units. I bought the first one in around 2012 for about $1,250 Canadian. I had it replaced about 2 years ago under warranty, the whole snowblower. So we'll go through why that happened and hopefully give you some ideas if you're looking at purchasing a used one in this model or a brand new one even. It'll give you some questions to ask. So first I want to go through some of the good parts about this unit. When it works, it is absolutely unstoppable. Like, I mean, this thing is a tank. I've just never come across any amount of snow that's been able to stop it. It works really well when it works. One of the reasons that I purchased it was because where I live, the snowplow often comes by and it plows the snow up against the side of your vehicle, often to the point where you can't get into it. And even if you can get into it, a lot of times you can't get the vehicle out of the parking spot, even in four-wheel drive. So I bought this unit specifically to deal with that. Now, if you've ever dealt with plowed snow before, you know that it's often very hard and often has ice and other debris in it. And that's what I mean about this unit being a tank. I use it in the hardest conditions that you could probably use a snowblower, and I have never had it jam, not with wet snow, not with ice, not with debris, ever since 2012. So it definitely gets 2 thumbs up as far as that goes. When it comes to using it on sidewalks, it scrapes right down to the concrete 98% of the time. It's very seldom that I actually have to get a snow shovel out to clean anything up after it. It works really well in as far as that goes. So I'll go through a couple of issues that I've had now. As I say this, understand that I own a lot of power equipment from different manufacturers. I own a couple of different things from Husqvarna, and I've never had any problems with them. They've worked fantastic. This is about the only piece of equipment that I've bought from them that I've been a bit disappointed in. So we'll go through some of those issues now. The first unit that I had, and actually this unit, as I describe these problems, understand that they happened in the first one and they also happened in the replacement unit that I got. But one of the issues that I had was the clutch. Now, if you look in the second and the third video clip there, you'll see me engaging the drive handle and the unit doesn't move. That's because the clutch was slipping for some reason, and both units that I've had do this without fail at startup for between 30 and 60 seconds, I would say. For that 30 to 60 seconds, you can't move it anywhere. You can't do anything with it. It eventually does grab, and you go on your way. But the other problem that I've had, and it was more prevalent in the first unit that I had for sure, but it has happened in the second one too, where you'll be pushing snow using it, and the clutch will just start slipping. And again, it'll do it for 20-30 seconds at a time. Now, in the residential application that I use it in, that isn't a big deal. It's not the end of the world. It's not ideal, but it's not a huge problem. If I had purchased this unit to use commercially, it would be completely unacceptable. I don't think you would even be able to use it in that application for that reason. So I took it back to the dealer a number of times, and they checked it over and they couldn't find any reason for it. And eventually, they just replaced it. And I had talked to the dealer, I had also talked to Husqvarna directly, and it seemed to be a problem that they weren't aware of, but both of them, to give them both credit, took care of it. 2 thumbs up again, they replaced it with a brand new unit. The new unit that I got was exactly the same model number. It was just cosmetically different in a couple of ways. Like the new unit had an LED headlight and the original unit had a halogen headlight, but functionally they were exactly the same. So the next big issue that I had, or that I've had with both units, was that they're hard to start when it gets really cold. Up here in Canada, it's not uncommon at all for it to be minus 20, minus 30, minus 40 degrees Celsius. And I fully accept that not many gasoline-powered vehicles, or any gasoline-powered engines, like to start when it's that cold out. But if there was one piece of equipment that you would expect would be able to handle that, it would probably be your snowblower. So both units were really hard to start when it was cold. When they replaced it with the new one, I was having the same problem, and I was looking at the engine one day, and there's a plastic or a metal sort of cowling that goes around the outside, and I looked underneath and I noticed that the tube that goes from the primer bulb to the carburetor was split. So that could have explained why this particular unit was hard to start. I took it back to the dealer and they replaced it under warranty, and that did make it better, but it's still hard to start when it's cold out. And this is despite using new gas, using stabilizer, using, following all the directions that they tell you to do. Last winter, what actually happened was I couldn't get the unit running. It was about minus 25 out, and I took the spark plug out of it to see if it was flooded and to use some starting fluid. The problem was, because it was so cold, I couldn't feel the ends of my fingers, so when I was screwing the spark plug back into the head, I actually stripped the threads. I cross-threaded it because I couldn't feel the ends of my fingers. Now that's no fault of Husqvarna's, that's completely my fault, 100%, but it ties into the larger problem that I'm referring to. So, in the end, would I buy another two-stage Husqvarna snowblower? No, I wouldn't. For what I paid for it, I would expect a bit more. I purposely didn't buy the cheapest one I could find because I wanted something reliable that worked. And this one, when it works very, very well. It falls right in the middle of this class of snowblower, I would say. It's not a cheap one, but it's not the most expensive either. I own a bunch of pieces of Honda power equipment as well, generators, lawnmowers. I also have a number of Honda vehicles, and I love everything that Honda makes, and of course you pay for that quality. So a comparable Honda snowblower in this class was around $2,000. I opted to go and give Husqvarna a shot at, like I said, around $1,250 Canadian. And I think if I were to do it over again, I would have spent the extra money and got the Honda. So at the end of the day, hopefully this gives you some knowledge if you're looking at buying one of these used, or if you're looking at buying it new. These might be some questions to ask the dealer. At any rate, I thank you very much for joining me in this review. I appreciate your patience. I'm just getting started in the YouTube world, and my equipment isn't the best, and as I go further and further here, hopefully my audio and video equipment will get better and better. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Thanks guys, take care.